Please be seated.
President Carter, President Biden, Dr. Biden, Vice President Harris, the second gentleman, President Clinton, Secretary Clinton, Mrs. Bush, Mrs. Obama, Mrs. Trump, distinguished guests and friends. Rosalynn Carter would be so pleased to see that she brought all of you together on this day.
My mom spent most of her life in love with my dad. Their partnership and love story was a defining feature of her life. Because he isn't able to speak to you today, I am going to share some of his words about loving and missing her. This is from a letter he wrote 75 years ago while he was serving in the Navy. My darling, every time I have ever been away from you, I have been thrilled when I returned to discover just how wonderful you are. While I am away, I try to convince myself that you really are not, could not be, as sweet and beautiful as I remember. But when I see you, I fall in love with you all over again. Does that seem strange to you? It doesn't to me. Goodbye, darling. Until tomorrow. Jimmy.
Unable to describe how that hit her, and it was very meaningful to her.
Because Rosalynn Carter's casket has been in this church since last night. There will be music to begin the service.
So I grew up watching the Carter Center mature as my grandparents tackled problems that were so grand, they seemed almost insurmountable. Latin America and Africa were dominated by strong men, and my grandparents wanted to install democracy. Humanity had only ever eradicated one disease, and my grandparents wanted to eliminate 5. And at a time when mental illness was looked on as a failure of character, Rosalynn wanted to eliminate the stigma and treat mental illness as any other disease that could be diagnosed and treated.
To remember her and to comfort one another as families and friends who fondly remember the ones whose life touched ours in so many precious moments. We're here to continue the mantle. If I had to go on and describe her, I would say she was all about a family. I believe, Chaplain, that if you did anything to the family, she might have beat you up. Because it was all about the family, Josh.